You gotta cut me down, bro.
I know. HTWOW August Season 3 anniversary. Go.
Hello, HTWOW listeners. This is High Tea with Old Waver, the August 2020 episode 38. It's a very special episode, right, Toby?
Special.
You know, this is our third anniversary.
It's so exciting.
I forget what the third anniversary is. I think it's plastic.
Or like a paper clip.
Yeah, so I got you this key fob.
Thank you. Thank you for my fob.
So enjoy
From your stolen car.
enjoy your anniversary gift. I would like to let all of you listening know that unfortunately Mike Reiner could not join us on this pod.
It's okay.
Some of you were very much listening for him, and I would encourage you to keep listening. But if you only wanted to listen to Ryan's, then you can just press stop.
It's okay.
If those of you who have no idea who Mike Reiner is, then keep listening. Either way, you should listen next month because he is going to be our special guest on the September episode of HTWOW. He had a conflict and he could not be with us for August. So we are going to roll out the red carpet on the September episode. So this episode is going to be Sans Rhines, but it's going to be fun times. We're going to reveal the winner of the Premier Grilling drawing.
Yes.
The person that is going to win $200 worth of grilling items from our sponsor from the July pod. And we are going to play lots of awesome stuff from Gary Numan and new stuff that I have. I don't know. It's going to be awesome. I mean, whatever.
You're doing so great. See, what the problem is that everyone thinks you're doing this after our first podcast.
We forgot to do it after the first podcast, and we're doing it after the After Dark, and I'm really wasted right now.
But it is nice that people get a little glimpse into what you sound like on the After Dark.
Yeah. This is After Dark.
This is kind of what it
After
sounds
Dark
like.
Dave telling you that you should subscribe to the After Dark. Go to oldwaver.com and click on premium, and you can subscribe to the After Dark for as little as $5 a month. You can get a koozie, you can get stickers, and you can get the After Dark podcast every month. Absolutely awesome content in your podcast player. Oh, my freaking God.
Stop.
It's so good. And etc. Amen.
I mean, you could see someone walking up from a mile away and just be like, hey, back up.
Guards,
Seize them.
go intercept that person walking up the dirt road in between our vineyards.
People don't get to say seize them anymore. That used to be a big thing. And now you can't, there's no more, you can't seize people like you used to. If you had like a moat,
Right?
you could say seize them, but you can't really seize
Right.
people anymore.
If they have somehow circumvented your moat, then you are well within your rights to seize them.
I know.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock all my doors. It's the only way to live.
guys. Welcome to HTWOW August 2020. Episode number 38. But that's not the big news. You want to know the big news?
What's the big news?
This is the third anniversary of HTWOW. We did it. We did it.
Wow. Did you ever think we'd get this far?
I mean, we are at our preschool graduation. We are a real podcast because we've been around for 3 years now. HTWOW is, of course, High Tea with Old Waver. He is High Tea. Toby Pipes. At Toby Pipes on Twitter. I am the Old Waver part. Gen X Davey, Dave Lane, at Old Waver on Twitter. And together, we make podcast magic. We bring you a song swap and a beer swap every month. I wish that we had time in our busy lives to do it more often than every month. It would probably help our clicks if we were more regular with the content.
Regular.
But we can only afford to do it once a month, so savor it. Soak it in.
If people start sending us tons of money, we'll do it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to sponsor this bitch and make us do it every fucking week, we will.
Easily.
But right now, we're doing it for us. And us meaning the two of us and you, the listener. This is a community. We have an HTWOW community.
I like what you're doing with your hand.
I am making a circular motion indicating the community of HTWOW. Circular.
Regular.
So, song swap, beer swap. I bring 3 songs, Toby brings 3 songs, and used to, we would each bring a beer, but now, well, pre-COVID, we had a beer sponsor. We still have a sponsor. We still love to shout them out because they wanted to work with us when no one else did. But during COVID times, when businesses are struggling to stay alive, I don't feel good about asking them for free stuff.
You just don't want to go take their beers for free
Right
right now.
I still consider them our beer sponsor, but I didn't actually get these beers at Goodfriend Package.
I think that they would give them to you.
Yes,
if you
they
said.
would.
But you're being nice, Dave, and
you know,
I do get it.
I don't feel right about it.
I understand.
But please hit up Goodfriend Package if you are in the East Dallas, Casa Linda area. They are at 1155 PV. They are open for breakfast and lunch, and their sister establishment, Goodfriend Beer Garden and Burger Bar, is right across the street. They are open for lunch and dinner. For your pickup and delivery enjoyment, go to socialdistancingnow.com. We decided, I gave Toby the choice today. We could, if we wanted to, just do all Martin House all the time.
We could.
Because I do have a new insane Martin House brew for our second beer this evening.
Man, they should really sponsor us.
I know, right? I need to hit them up. But I gave Toby the choice for our first one. There was a choice between a Belgian Creek with a little bit of cherry in it.
Which the can, that's a good looking can.
Yeah, it was from 3 Nations, and we might do that another time.
Nice can.
But the other option was the Finnish long drink.
From where?
It says canned by the Long Drink Company of Utica, New York.
Oh.
And so you chose this.
Well,
what is your opinion so far?
I'm into it. I like it. I've never, it's kind of a little offshoot from a cider. It's not as sweet.
Right.
I don't jump into the seltzers. That's why I wanted to try it. Have
Yeah.
do you do a seltzer?
I do the seltzer from time to time. This is, I mean, it's not actually a seltzer, I guess, because it has real alcohol in it. A lot of times you'll have the seltzer that will have, like it's like a malt liquor seltzer or whatever.
Is that like a White Claw?
Right.
Is that a seltzer?
Or like a Truly or whatever.
Yeah.
This is kind of one of those newfangled drinks where it has actual hard liquor in the can. Have you seen these? Like there's the High Noon that has actual vodka in the can.
Well, what does White Claw have in it? Is that the malt liquor?
Yeah, I don't know. It's brewed. It's just, I don't know. It's seltzer. It's hard seltzer.
It's newfangled.
It's newfangled. But this is gin with natural grapefruit and juniper berry flavors. Now, they had two different ones. They had a regular and a strong. The regular was like 5%. The strong was 8.5. And I went for the strong.
Of course you did.
It's not cheap. It's like $20 for a 6-pack.
Well, it's strong. It's what is it,
8.5.
Jeez.
Would you like me to read you the story? So,
do you need glasses? Do you need light?
I think it's bright enough in here. It says, so it's called the Finnish long drink. And then underneath it says legend of 1952.
Wow.
So would you like to hear the legend?
Are you going to read the whole thing?
It's not that long.
Okay, let's get it.
Long drink is a top-selling category of alcohol for Finland, a legend that is now available in America. The roots of long drinks go back to the 1952 Summer Games in Helsinki, when the country of only 4 million people was still recovering from World War II. Concerned how to serve drinks quickly enough for all the visitors, the government came up with a revolutionary idea of a new liquor drink that was both delicious and fast to serve. And so the first long drinks were born. Now this legend has finally been brought to America by the next generation of Finns who want the world to experience the refreshing and unique Finnish long drink.
I like a long drink.
I mean, what do you think so far?
I also like this can as well. Nice can.
I mean, you definitely get the grapefruit.
It's summery.
It is summery. You've got it on ice. I'm drinking it out of the can. Does the ice make a difference?
Man, it's great. I could drink this all day. It's like
we're gonna get so tanked.
I know. It does not taste strong, which is dangerous.
I know. And usually we drink the stronger thing first and a lighter thing second. I'm just warning you that the Martin House thing that I'm gonna be unleashing on us later, it's whiskey barrel aged and it's like 13%. So just be ready. Just pace yourself.
All right, we'll be dumb by the end of this, but I think that people that listen to this, they know what they're getting into.
Yes, they do.
We'll be slightly coherent for the first two songs, excited the next two songs, and real dumb the last two songs.
Yes, and if you're a patron, incoherent for the After Dark.
Yeah, the After Dark tonight will write itself.
Somehow, after we do this...
Are you going to say where we are? You haven't even mentioned it.
Well, yeah, I'm about to.
I'm about to.
Yeah, somehow after we do this, I need to gather myself and grill us some hamburgers because we are at my place. We are in my kitchen.
Yeah.
We are set up at the dining room table.
It looks so great. I wish that we had... when are we going to break into the video pod YouTube side of this?
I don't like seeing myself on camera, so unless I lose 100 pounds, probably never.
Well, what if we just had a camera behind us? Because, man, this visual, it looks like I'm in the middle of Melrose Place right now.
Yeah, we have playoff basketball on the TV, some playoff hockey coming up later. And yes, we're going to grill some burgers after this, and then we're going to go well into the night with the After Dark. It's going to be loads of fun. But we are at my place. This was originally scheduled to be the Mike Reiner episode. So if you are tuning in to hear the great Mike Reiner, you can just press stop right now.
Wait till next month. I understand this as a dude that has shows rebooked. Lava Cantina rebooked Petty Theft for tonight, and you can't. What are we supposed to do? Tell him and all of his bandmates, no, you can't go do your show because we're doing a podcast.
I don't care what Lava Cantina is paying you. I demand that you come to my house and record a podcast for free.
Yeah, that's a bad move. So he needs to play this show tonight, and that's okay. What are we in a hurry for?
No.
COVID's not going anywhere.
Yeah, so we will be back here in my kitchen next month for the September pod. But
it's good to have a run through anyway.
Yeah.
The setup was way easier than LaQ.
Yeah, and we will talk about LaQ later. But yes, we are doing a dry run for the Rhines pod of next month. And if you don't know who Mike Reiner is, I don't know how many people listen to us that have no idea what The Ticket is, but The Ticket is the place where I used to work and still sometimes work in Dallas radio. Sports radio, and so much more. And it was the brainchild of Mike Reiner. He's a Texas Radio Hall of Famer. He just retired last December, and he just announced that he's going to be doing a brand new podcast. It's entitled, what is it called? What's Next? Or What's Up Your Butt? Hold on a second.
What's up? I'm Mike. Do you think that's it?
Let me look it up. I want to get it right.
I'm Mike. This is what's on my plate. Do you think that's it?
I keep brainstorming.
Am I getting close? Mike's stuff. Check it out. All these are good. He can use any of these. Mike's place on the podcast.
Square One with Mike Reiner. So he has joined The Athletic. If you are a sports fan, The Athletic is a subscription, platform. They have podcasts, they have articles, they have lots of local content, national content, and his non-compete with The Ticket finally wrapped up this month, and he announced last week that, or this week, I guess, that he is joining The Athletic. He's going to be doing a bi-weekly, at least, podcast called Square One. It's basically going to be what's on Mike's mind, whatever he feels like talking about, whether it's sports, music, pop culture, history, whatever. He's a very diverse individual, and I can't wait to hear what he comes up with. So
I'm pretty sure he's going to have us on his podcast a lot.
I mean, we're scratching his back, so he may as well scratch ours and get us, usher us into the Athletic offices. And
why wouldn't we just...
Hey, these dudes are awesome. I know they don't talk about sports, but you should sign them to a multi-million-dollar deal.
Yeah, we could at least be just like his little yuck monkeys over in the corner. We can do that.
Yes. So Mike Reiner will be on the September pod. So that's enough.
I didn't know. That's news to me. I didn't know this was happening.
We were talking about it just a minute ago.
Were we?
Yeah, we totally booked it because you're.
No, I didn't know he was doing the Athletic thing.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I just found out about it 2 seconds ago when you just said it.
When I said it?
Yeah, I didn't know this.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so that's his I guess third act or fourth act or fifth act. Who knows?
And that's awesome. He'll have total control. That's
there
great.
There was Band Mike, then there was Zoo Mike, then there was GTE on Call Mike, then there was Ticket Mike, and now there's Athletic Mike.
God, this is great.
It's his fifth life.
Man.
So yes, he is making it happen in retirement. Can't wait to hear what he cooks up for The Athletic. But let's talk about what we're going to do on this pod. Let's quit promoting a pod that doesn't need our help.
It will not need any help.
Yeah, they don't need any help. Why are we watching fucking wrestling?
I don't know, but look at his pants. Not the underwear pants guy, but the pink pants guy.
Yeah, the pink pants guy.
Why is he wearing...
They're like slacks.
He looks like he's in the Commodores.
Yeah, we were watching playoff basketball, but now there's like TNT wrestling.
They also look like they're at Starplex. They're not in a, see it? They're not in an arena.
God, wrestling is the worst.
Were you ever a
swear.
wrestling as a kid?
When I was in like 6th grade, for like 6 months, I was into wrestling.
I was
like the Von
never
Erichs.
one time in my entire life ever into wrestling.
I never thought it was real. My friends and I used to like to reenact wrestling moves. Like we would watch it and then we would wrestle each other.
Yeah, never had that conversation with my friends. We never did. Oh, he tagged in and then immediately tagged out.
Oh, and his partner has the reverse hot pants.
Yeah, his pockets are pink and the other guy's pockets are, he's wearing pink pants and his pockets are black. God.
Oh, and he just blew a kiss to the other partner.
I'll have
And
to
the other-
take this out, right? Because they can't see any of
I
it.
know, the other guy. There's nothing he can do because the guy's on the other side of the ring and he can't tag in.
Oh, he just tagged him. Did he tag him?
How is it that two guys are able to gang up on one?
Oh, what is he doing?
It's the stupidest thing ever.
I've never, ever once watched an entire wrestling. Not the Olympic
They have
wrestling.
a chick referee.
What's wrong
They're
with
so
that?
progressive with their chick referee.
Oh, I can
All
honestly
elite
say, Dave,
wrestling.
because I'm so woke, I didn't even
You
notice.
didn't even notice?
Didn't even notice.
Yeah, if you think WWE is horrible, just watch All Elite Wrestling.
Oh, is that what AEW?
Yes.
How did you know what that meant?
But I've seen the promos for it watching
Ooh.
watching NBA playoffs.
Oh, he's got a knee brace.
Oh, Jesus.
He's got a knee brace.
I swear. I mean,
I swear. Let's talk about us.
all right. So yes,
Remember
let's
us?
Let's quit promoting a podcast that needs no promotion, and let's talk about what we're going to do on this pod because you have a theme and I have new stuff. We're kind of back to what we do best.
Yeah, back to the basics, Dave.
I think our intro song probably tips people off as to what you're going to be doing. You're going to be
Don't spoil it.
we're going to be looking back at very influential synth pop artist.
Don't say who it is, because I'm going to tell you his real name
Okay.
at the beginning and see if see what you think of his real name.
Okay. I don't know his real name, so I'm very excited to learn that information.
He's got 4 names.
I am going to play you 3 different tunes that are all brand spanking new.
Brant.
The first one is very exciting. The middle one is kind of a pet project for me, and hopefully everyone will like it.
Is it your band?
No,
Oh.
but it's a guy that I have been following for his entire career, and I feel like he is extremely under the radar, but I want to shine a spotlight on him. I want the power of HTWOW to
Good.
shine on him.
Man.
And then my last one, I had a hard time picking, but I wanted to bring it back to the rock. So we're gonna have a hot, sweet guitar rock jam. If anybody is afraid that we're gonna be too synthy and weird on this one, we're gonna have some guitars for that last one.
You did that last time.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
that with Hum.
Yeah, you brought the rock at the end.
Yeah, I mean,
It
we're,
was weird.
We're diverse.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily just pigeonholed into one genre. We like music if it's good music. And speaking of good music, Phoenix is back. I can't remember the last time Phoenix came out with a new thing. It was Te Amo, right?
I don't know, but it makes sense on our anniversary episode that you would play Phoenix, because I feel like Phoenix has been a part of the show. Don't you think? Since the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, they're an inspiration to us always. Because, I don't know, a name, besides like maybe Tame Impala, name a more omnipresent band in the last 20 years for us.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of good ones.
So, Te Amo came out in 2017. So it's been 3 years since we've heard anything from Phoenix. Well, they just shared a brand new song. It is on the soundtrack of the new Sofia Coppola movie, On the Rocks.
Oh, is this just a single? So they're not putting out a record?
Yeah, it's just a single. There's no announcement about a record.
Wow.
So the movie, On the Rocks, and of course the singer for Phoenix is married to Sofia Coppola.
Are you serious?
You didn't know this?
No. When did this go down?
I have no idea.
Golly, we're not only a music podcast, we're like Entertainment Tonight.
Right? Yeah,
I didn't know that. Been forever.
Thomas Mars. Let me look it up. He married Sofia Coppola in 2011.
Man, they're rich.
Yeah, and he has done, or Phoenix has done work on several of her movies before. I can't tell you what they are right now because...
Was it Godfather 3?
That was her dad.
No, she did Godfather 3.
Well, she was in it. She wasn't... She didn't direct it.
She directed it and wrote Godfather 3. I'm pretty sure.
Let's see. What
do you think of her performance in Godfather 3?
You know what? I don't really remember Godfather 3 because that's like the worst Godfather.
Well, that's
No
just
one
like
cares.
saying that's the worst Phoenix record. They're all pretty good. See what I did?
Right? Yeah, I mean, of course she did The Virgin Suicides, Lost in Translation, Marie Antoinette. And, man, I'm sure that...
So she doesn't act anymore.
No. I mean, I'm guessing that they contributed songs to several of those. Email me at HTWOWpod@gmail.com and tell me how stupid I am for not knowing these things. But in October on Apple TV Plus, On the Rocks is coming out. It stars Bill Murray and Marlon Wayans and Rashida Jones.
Man, she loves Bill Murray.
Yes.
Makes sense. I mean, you want a hit movie, let's get Bill Murray.
And so Identical is on the soundtrack. And it is dedicated to the late Philippe Zadar, who was a frequent collaborator of theirs. He was a DJ and producer. Died at the age of 52.
Of what?
Last summer. No idea. You're asking me questions that I don't know.
COVID?
No, it was 2019 when he died.
Maybe he was the first COVID.
That would be news. But yeah, the song is entitled Identical.
I didn't listen to this on the way. They were promoting this on the XMU, and I was like, I know Dave's going to play this, so I don't want to hear it until right now.
Yes, you were very prescient because when Phoenix comes out with a new song, especially like the week of recording the podcast, of course, I'm going to play the new Phoenix.
You also made up a new word.
Prescient? Mm-hmm. I probably mispronounced it.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Let's play the tune, because it's been a while.
It goes like this on HTWOW.
I love that. That's it feels like that might have been a drum machine.
Yeah,
They normally go with live drummer.
Yeah, it seems like that might be a bedroom track.
It is good though. Do you feel like those two, when they have dinner, always have like a really good view?
Thomas Mars and Sofia Coppola.
Yeah, like while they're just kind of chewing on leaves because they're both so skinny.
Right, and when they're drinking Coppola wine.
Yeah, do you think that their view is pretty nice?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure no matter where they are, they're looking upon fountains or gardens
Or a big
or beaches
yeah, exactly.
or mountains.
Like I don't know where they live, but I feel like water is involved
Yes,
and that it's the
water
best
is
view
falling
ever.
somehow.
I didn't know he was married to her. Does it change things? It doesn't.
Does it make him cooler or does it make her cooler?
It makes her cooler, for sure, but she might be more important. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Who
Good
cares?
for
We
them.
got New Phoenix.
Do they have children?
No, I don't believe they do.
Boy, their kid's gonna be super cool,
Right?
right?
I mean, can't help it.
Golly. If not, what a disappointment. When your parents are that cool and it's a lot of
Oh wait, no, they have daughters.
Oh god.
Hold on. Okay, so she married Thomas Mars in 2011, as I said.
Is his last name really Mars, or is that a thing?
I don't know. They married in Italy.
Of course, that's what I mean. Like they're looking at Lake Como, probably. Right.
They met while she was working on the Virgin Suicides, and they appeared on that, or he worked on that. I don't know. And they have two daughters, Romy, who was born in 2006,
Okay.
and Cosmia, who was born in 2010.
Wow.
So they have a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old.
I bet they have really cool outfits.
Let's see. They lived in Paris for several years, and then they moved to New York City.
Oh, they're in New York now. Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. That's pretty cool.
I mean, I'm sure.
I bet they
I'm
have
sure they
houses
overlook
everywhere.
I'm sure they overlook Central Park, or they have the best skyline view from their penthouse. Whatever.
I mean, both families probably have a lot of places all over, right?
Yeah, but I mean, Thomas Mars has probably made a decent living off of Phoenix, but
He's been doing well for a while.
but he is definitely coattailing off of her. Like she has.
Yeah, but who's
If you-
cooler?
He's cooler, but if you want to,
I think that they're breaking pretty even.
I don't know, man. If you want to talk about who is the breadwinner in that family,
Well, I didn't say breadwinner. I mean, just kind of breaking even. I mean, she's a Coppola. What are you going to do there? There's nothing. You can't compete against that. I bet their daughters are cool. Like they.
Yeah,
bet
they're
they have,
probably
like,
they're
really
probably
cool
both like
mopeds.
painters.
They're going to have like super fancy
Poets.
Vespas.
I don't know. Let's quit being jealous of Phoenix. And
Like you couldn't be any more jealous. I didn't even know he was married to her. They're at the winery right now. Don't think since COVID started
Oh, yeah.
that they're not at whatever winery that is.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure he has a cozy spot in France.
If you are going to sit out the COVID, I would do it at winery. At the Coppola winery.
Sure.
Would you?
That sounds like get me in. How do I get in?
I mean, you could see someone walking up from a mile away and just be like, hey, back up.
Guards,
Seize them.
go intercept that person walking up the dirt road in between our vineyards.
People don't get to say seize them anymore. That used to be a big thing.
Uh-huh.
Now you can't, there's no more, you can't seize people like you used to. If you had like a moat
right?
You could say seize them, but you can't really seize
Right. If
people anymore.
they have somehow circumvented your moat, then you are well within your rights to seize them.
I know. I want to know when's the last time someone's been seized. When's the last seize gone
Great
down?
question.
Right.
I mean,
They
it's
should email us.
certainly it was. It hasn't been since like the 1800s, right?
Yeah. Let's take calls on the last seize.
Okay, yeah. Everybody, do your research and call in.
If you know when the
In our
last seize
in
went
our last
down.
segment, we'll take some calls and see when the last time someone was seized.
Bros, I got seized last week. It was embarrassing.
All right. Before we get into your book report, we need to backsell a little bit. If you are not a patron, you missed out on this. But the July episode was delicious and delightful because it was live at La Q. The regular pod was there as well, but we mostly want to talk about the After Dark. So please go back and listen to the July pod if you haven't already. But the After Dark,
Let's play a snippet.
It got insane, and yes, I want to play a clip. I tried to do my best to not freak out and to not be an asshole.
You did great, I thought.
But let's listen back. This is the moment where we were all having a great time in La Q, which is our friend Dale's backyard bar in a converted shed. And we're having a great time. We're playing tunes. And then our friend Craig just made a fresh bloody pants.
It was, wasn't
It's a pint glass filled to the brim with vodka and blood orange San Pellegrino.
It was bubbling over.
He makes a gesture with his hand, knocks it over.
Oh, man.
Right underneath my laptop. It was just like a waterfall flowing down underneath my laptop and off the edge of the table.
It was a wave.
And laptop instantly dies. And this is what it sounded like.
So we can climb our car up on the side and they'll just be like, oh, this is like an advertisement.
Yeah. All right, so we have two left, and these are kind of community jams. And so the first one,
First one's a little peppier than the last one.
The first one is kind of keeping with the party. The last one is kind of, it kind of is maybe sending us off into the rest of our evening. But the first one, you mentioned before we even started this, that your daughter is obsessed with this song.
Yeah, it has definitely, it doesn't matter what age you are, this song is a jam for everyone. And
I need to play this for Clara.
You really need to, because Pace loves this song, and I had no idea. I played it as a joke one night, and it has been a request.
Oh, Craig. Sorry. I saved it.
I mean, that's our first spill. You gotta admit, that's not too bad.
There's paper towels behind you, Toby.
Oh, he's got it right there.
Saved it on you, Craig.
I saved it, though.
What did you save? You saved nothing.
We'll be all right. Are you about to knock that up?
I almost knocked that one over.
God, I'm glad we're wrapping it up here, guys.
I know. Things are getting dangerous.
But let's play this song before we all freak out.
Hold on, because my shit is not working.
Is this like Brewery?
It gets splashed.
Way to go, Craig.
It just got splashed.
Oh, it's gonna work. We'll be all right.
It's not bad at all.
No, use this. Just vodka.
There we go.
Why will it not power back on?
Just hold the button down. Oh, your battery's off.
I know, but it should be. It should be powered.
Yeah.
There we go. I bet that's going to come right back on.
I'll take it.
I'm not going to edit any of this out. There it is.
It's not. The light's not coming on. Nothing's happening.
Oh, the
But nothing happened. There's nothing. There's no
here.
liquid
Close the
anywhere.
top and open it back
There's
up.
no liquid anywhere. Just
Nothing's happening.
Yeah, why wouldn't the power thing fail? Did it get unplugged?
Well, I guess that's the end.
No, I can plug it. I can play it from my phone.
Yeah, we'll fix this. We'll fix this.
That just needs to dry. We'll be alright.
okay, still, but there's nothing on your computer.
Bump up the jam.
Yeah, y'all just need to let that thing dry out.
But there's nothing to dry out.
It's
We're
broken
going from this to disintegration.
Yes.
generational
It makes no sense, but it doesn't matter.
generational boundaries. But it sure does fit with the After Dark tonight. Are y'all ready?
Let's do it. Now you can hear that I was trying to be cool, right?
You were being cool.
Like I thought, okay, well maybe if we just dry it out, it'll be fine.
Your excitement in your voice did go down 2 dB, but you did handle it well, Dave. And we did think throughout the rest of the episode, surely this will dry out and turn back on. I mean, there was hope at
Yes,
that time.
there was hope. I got it home. I set it outside. I set it on its kind of set it at a 90-degree angle on its side.
Did you do a bucket of rice?
No, I didn't do the bucket of rice because I didn't think that would work on a laptop. But yeah, gave it a few days, and it never came back to life. And so, of course, Craig felt like the biggest tool.
You hear his remorse on
Yes,
the...
I mean, he was immediately remorseful, and
He has a
Craig's-
guilty soul. There's
Yes.
no way he's going to let this
yes,
pass.
Craig has a guilty soul, and he also has a lot of money, and so his solution to any problem is to throw money at it.
Which is a great solution. I don't care what anyone says.
And so I would like you to feast your eyes on my brand
Dude,
new
it
laptop.
is so shiny. It is definitely not as sticky as your last
No,
one.
yeah, there's not any dried E on it.
I also love how the new pad is
Yeah,
so
the
much.
trackpad is bigger.
It's much bigger.
I've got the fingerprint touch thing, so I don't have to type in my password every time it's locked.
Wow.
Yeah, so
It is fancy. What are the bars on top? What's all that?
this
is
this
that
is
like for
it's pretty useless. But
Video
the-
stuff or something?
Yeah, the touch screen, I don't know. It's pretty useless. I don't really use it except for like the volume and stuff.
sure.
But yes, I'm so grateful to Craig because he came through and got me a new laptop, and I was able to take my old one to like a PC dock in the box, and they were able to extract the hard drive and put it on a jump drive, and I was able to get all of my files on this computer. So it's like it never even happened.
Yeah. Those dudes are weird, aren't they? When you take the computer and they always look at you like, "What'd you do?"
Right?
Like it's a big guilt thing for you being stupid with your computer, and you're like, "This is your whole business. Like you
Right.
should."
If there weren't idiots making mistakes with their computers, you wouldn't have this business.
But they always look at you like everything's your fault, which it was.
Yeah, but because it was COVID times, the Apple Store is closed, and so I had to drive up to this place in McKinney, and I had to drive up there like 3 different times. First to drop it off, second to drop off the external hard drive, and then third to pick up the external hard drive. And every time I was texting Craig like, going back to McKinney.
It's the Apple Store's fault for getting so touchy-feely. With their customers, that
Right.
they're not behind a desk, they have to be all up in your face.
Right? They come out and they mingle with you.
Yeah, it's like, no, we'll go through the transaction on my little phone out here. I don't like it.
You would rather go to a kiosk with a cashier.
I just want someone to be behind a counter.
Yeah, it does
Is that
seem
too much to ask?
It does seem really unofficial when they're just like messing on their phone.
While they're playing Candy Crush, and then they just sell you a computer for $4,000. It's weird.
Yeah. Let me pause my game and enter your transaction. All right. So that is the LaQ story. All's well that ends well. Thank you to Craig.
Thank you,
for,
Craig.
Going above and beyond. I mean, I told him that we could split it, that I needed a new computer anyway, but he would not hear of it. So thank you, Craig. And please go back and listen to the July pod. Obviously, if we were wasted enough to trash laptops,
It was fun.
it's probably pretty entertaining.
It was hectic, but it was fun.
Yes.
Can I tell you about my artist?
Yes, I think we're ready to get into Toby's book report. I can't wait. Again, you might be tipped off by our intro song, but here's Toby to reveal it for you.
Well, I want to ask you if you know who this person is. Do you know who Gary Anthony James Webb is?
I already know, but I'm going to pretend that I don't. I have no idea who that is.
I'll give you another hint. He's an English synth pop singer.
Okay.
Can you believe that that's his name?
His name is Gary Webb.
Gary Anthony James Webb. Born 1958.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
Yeah. Gary Numan.
How did he come about the stage name Newman?
All right. You know what? Let's jump to that right away because you're going to love his other stage name. Are you ready for this?
Uh-huh.
His first pseudonym after he started Two Boy Army with his uncle,
Uh-huh.
after his father bought him a Les Paul when he was 15.
Okay.
He started Two Boy Army soon after that with his uncle Jess. And his pseudonym was Valerian.
Just one name, Valerian.
Valerian from some French movie.
Okay.
But he got, which sounds cool, right? That seems like it would be a Gary Numan thing, like to get Valerian from a science fiction thing.
Yeah.
He got Newman from a Yellow Page advertisement for a plumber.
Plumber named Gary Numan?
No, just Newman.
Yeah, and he spells it N-U-M-A-N.
Yeah, the plumber was like Newman on Seinfeld.
Right, N-E-W-M-A-N.
No, it was N-E-U-M-A-N-N.
Okay.
Is Newman N-E-W?
Yeah, I think from Seinfeld, N-E-W-M-A-N.
Oh, anyway, he got it from a Yellow Pages ad. He was a simple dude. His dad was a bus driver at the airport.
Right, but I guess if you break it down, like New Man, like, he's an android. He's like the man, like human 2.0.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of Two Boy Army? Did you know of Gary Numan that he was Two Boy Army, or?
I mean, I know that there is kind of like the crossover where like Pleasure Principle was originally released as Two Boy Army and then it was re-released as Gary Numan, right? Am I wrong on that?
I think Pleasure Principle was just Gary Numan, but he took the songs off of the second Two Boy Army record are released as Gary Numan many times.
Okay.
And when he does his live,
I knew there was kind of a merging of from one to the other.
it's basically him the whole time. But I kind of think Two Boy Army is a great name.
It is a great name.
You want to hear what his first band name was?
Sure.
Well, let me find it because it's really good and I don't want to mess it up. His first band was called Mean Street and the Lasers.
Mean Street and the Lasers. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Not as good as Two Boy Army.
Two Boy Army is way better. But that's when he has his, his bleach hair and he's doing his stuff. But when they first did the first record, they were kind of a punk band. There's no synths and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to play, because there is a song that I consider a Gary Numan hit. It probably isn't, but Every Day I Die. Have you ever heard that song title?
Uh-huh.
And we'll get to this in a minute, but the Living in Ornaments live records, he redoes it at the concert synth style, but at the beginning it's full on, they're just a guitar band with drum, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
The first Two-Way Army record is almost more like demos that he was doing himself. Mm-hmm. And then they have replicas. And so I think the rumor is that during the first record or the second record, someone had a Moog or Moog keyboard in there and he discovered it at the studio. That's the rumor. This isn't
Like,
on Wikipedia
hey, what does
or
this
anything,
do?
but that's what I've always heard.
I found a new direction.
So they do the second Two-Way Army record, which is basically, at this point, it's Gary Numan. Mm-hmm. He's doing all
Is
of
this
everything.
uncle still involved?
I don't know. But he's always had real drummers and real musicians around.
Yeah, that's...
there are mistakes on the records.
That is the cool thing to me about Gary Numan. And, you know, as we talked about with my wife before we started, everybody knows Cars. That song has been in a million commercials. It's part of pop culture. But the thing that is great about Gary Numan, and even that song, is the live percussion and the melding of electronic and organic music.
And people actually, before they sequenced it up with the drum machine to where it's perfect, you can hear on the recordings, there are slight mistakes. The tempo isn't exactly perfect the entire time. And the live version, there are full on, that's why I love Living in Ornaments, which I'll get to, because that's supposed to be right before his live retirement, which, you know, let's face it, they all do it. But let's get to the second record, because this is when the keyboard is found. They're past just the punk phase. There was a song, the first one that was released, and before I even say any of that, this is also a Beggar's Banquet thing, the very first record that came out, the demo tape thing even. At some point, I need to do a Beggar's Banquet thing, right? Doesn't it feel like the start of a lot of the book reports I do? Beggar's Banquet was the first label that puts all these things out.
Yeah, it was an influential label back in those days.
Man, that's Bauhaus and everybody.
Yeah.
They did everything.
And when we were discussing this episode, you were like, have I done Gary Numan yet? And I couldn't believe that you hadn't. I know I've asked you before.
We really
need to do a Gary Numan episode. And then I went back and looked, and we hadn't done it yet. We played a couple of Gary Numan tunes on the After Dark, including last month, I believe, or 2 months ago.
Yeah, which took away some stuff from this one. But if you want to hear some cool stuff, listen to that last After Dark. It was cool.
Yeah, but I couldn't believe that we haven't done it yet. So this is from the first proper Gary Numan solo record, right?
No, this is
still
Two-Way Army. It's from Replicas, but this is when there was a song that was released first called Down in the Park, which I think has one of the best lyrics ever, which is Down in the Park with a friend called Five, which is awesome, right?
Yeah.
But the second release, or I don't know when it was released, but this song went to number one, and then after that, they sold out of all these first little releases immediately, and then the album goes to number one, and it's a song, Our Friends Electric. And I think, let's play it, and then we'll discuss after.
I can't wait. This is Gary Numan, or, I'm sorry, Two-Way Army. Our, air quotes, friends electric,
Yeah.
question mark on HTWOW.
It's cold outside, and the paint's spilling off of my walls. There's a man outside, in a long coat grey hat, smoking a cigarette. alone. Now I can think for myself about little deals and issues, things that I just don't understand. Like a white light at night, or a slow touch at times. I don't think I mean anything to you.
How do you feel about that, Jim?
Man, it's so good.
I mean,
he's so dry and sardonic, and I love it.
I know, and think of how weird that is for like 1978, 79. What is going on in England at that time that he can get a #1 single with that?
Right. There's nothing like that going on, but I guess I can vaguely understand it because it sounds like the future.
I know. Could you imagine those concerts if you were able to see that? I mean, there are people listening to the Sex Pistols, the Clash, and all that, but this is way beyond any of that.
Right. It's beyond punk. It's so beyond punk. It's ultra punk.
Yeah, and it's influencing everybody, and we'll get to that in a minute. And some stuff I'll play in the After Dark later on. There are some people that are on his record after, I would say, the trilogy of these. To me, this last Two-Way Army, the next Pleasures and Principle, and then the third one. After that, there's a record called Dance. There's some people on that you won't be surprised that they're on his record, Dave. Of course they are.
Of course they are.
But this is a big deal. This changes a lot of stuff for that for everyone doing music at that time. And we did the Kraftwerk thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can see where he has taken it now to this is a different level.
Yeah, we did mention it on the Kraftwerk episode, which was in June, if you want to go back and listen to the book report that Toby did on Kraftwerk. But we mentioned it during that episode that Gary Numan kind of took their blueprint, not necessarily their sound, obviously the electronic element, but he took their persona of robots and the pancake makeup and the suits, and took it to the next level and made it like a pop version.
Yeah, and a lot of these songs, the lyrics, especially on this record and the next record, from what I heard, could also be rumors, but this was all about being abducted by aliens. That's the people in the hallway, the people knocking on the door, and the whole thing is that someone's coming to get him. Mm-hmm. And he has this weird fascination. I don't know if it's because his dad worked for British Airways as a bus driver, and he also became a pilot at some point. He's one of those guys like Jamiroquai or whoever that owns planes or helicopters or whatever.
Or like Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden.
Yeah, I don't think he's flying around on tour.
He's not flying the whole band in the
doesn't have
747.
he doesn't have that kind of. But I've heard that he has planes and flies and does the whole thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of his songs have to do with airplanes and airline crashes and things like that.
Right. And if you don't know, Gary Numan is still alive. He's still active. He still puts out records and he still tours.
Yeah. He's still, even though when we get to the end of this, we'll get to the Living in Ornaments, which is when I got into Gary Numan was on the live records, which is kind of like the Cheap Trick Live in Budokan kind of thing. Which is almost like I heard all of his greatest hits on the live records, and then I went back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this is 79, 80. At this point, I'm not listening to Gary Numan in 79, 80. I was, 8?
Right.
So I'm not listening
and
to
you weren't in England.
Yeah.
You were in Huntsville.
Yeah. So, he went through this fake retirement of playing live and all that. They all do it. But we'll get to that point. We'll get to the Living in Ornaments stage. But
okay.
We'll get back to Gary.
All right, so before we get to my next jam, we need to do another bit of housekeeping that is related to last month's pod. So if you listened to the July episode of HTWOW, you know that we had, for the first time ever, a title sponsor. And that title sponsor was Premier Grilling.
Yay!
And so what we did is, because we were at La Q and we were guests of our friend Dale, and Dale loves to smoke meats and barbecue. He's very good at it. He's my nemesis when it comes to that. We had a gift box that Dale got to keep, and we unboxed it on the pod. And then a listener was going to be able to win everything that Dale got. So there were 3 different kinds of rubs. There was like a spray canister of duck fat, whatever you use that for. There was like an instant read thermometer. There were some awesome, like elbow long, like suede barbecue gloves. And so it was like $200 worth of stuff. And so Dale got to keep it. And we are about to draw the winner for all of the people.
Is this happening right now?
Yeah, we're about to do this. So the method of entry was anyone who wanted to have a chance to win this stuff from Premier Grilling, all they had to do was take a screenshot of how they were listening to the July episode of HTWOW and either tweet it to me or email it to me. And so we got a ton of entries. And so I rather than do like kind of a random number generator or something like that, I decided to do it old school.
You're gonna put it in a hat.
Yes, so everybody that entered, I wrote their name down on a piece of paper. I cut out all the names, I folded them up, and I put them in a hat. So we have the HTWOW hat. I'm going to take pictures so I can tweet this out.
Yeah, let's see
and,
the hat.
and post this. So it's the HTWOW hat. So here, why don't you hold that?
I'll hold it. I'll hold said hat.
Let me see the logo.
You see it?
All right, so now we need my beautiful wife, Marissa, to come over here and be the impartial drawer of the name. Marissa, say hello to HTWOW.
Hello, HTWOW. Congratulations on your 3-year anniversary.
Oh,
Thank you. Oh
Thank
my
you so
God,
much.
thank you.
Oh my goodness, thank
Toby,
you so much.
you've-
We would not have made it without you.
I know. So, Toby, you have reached a milestone none of Dave's wives have to date. So, congratulations.
Yes,
Thank you.
HTWOW has lasted longer than any of my marriages.
Wow.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so here, let me take a picture of Marissa. All right, she has drawn a name.
This is an easy name to say. Congratulations, Steve Jordan.
Steve Jordan.
Jordan.
Wow.
Holy crap. And Steve, I mean, not
Totally
rigged.
sounds like a fake
Not
name.
rigged. Steve Jordan is a super big HTWOW P1, and I couldn't be happier for him. And so, Steve, I will be in touch, and we'll put you in contact with Premier Grilling to get all of your sweet swag.
So great.
And I don't know if they're going to want to do this again. Hopefully, they have had enough people use the coupon code. If you want to order some crap off of premiergrilling.com, just plug in the coupon code HTWOW and you can get 10% off. 10% off
10% off.
of any crap that you want except for like fancy grills and stuff.
Yeah. Because that's too
All right,
crazy.
let me take a picture of Steve Jordan's name. All right.
All right.
So congratulations to Steve.
Steve.
And thank you to Premier Grilling. And yes, go to premiergrilling.com and plug in coupon code HTWOW and buy you some stuff and make them like so excited to work with us again.
Yeah. That was fun.
yeah.
That was our first giveaway.
Yeah, and we would love, if you have a company that wants to give away stuff to our listeners, hit me up.
Yeah.
HTWOWpod@gmail.com.
Let's give away some cars. Right?
Wow. Yeah, would love to give away a car.
I'm just saying.
I did give away a car. We'll get to that later.
You certainly did.
Uh-huh. All right, so it's time for my second jam.
Second
And,
jam.
So this is, as I mentioned at the top, it's kind of a pet band, a pet individual.
I can't wait to hear this. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so randomly, I always check for new releases, and I saw that this guy had put out a single last month, and I listened to it, and I freaking loved it. And even though no one knows who this guy is, he is kind of he's a secret weapon. So his name is Jorge Elbrecht. Have you ever heard of this guy's name?
No. This is weird.
Okay, so
This is weird that this is your dude.
I know. So Jorge Elbrecht is originally from Costa Rica, but he moved to Miami when he was a kid, and then when he was a teen or young adult, he moved to Brooklyn, and in Brooklyn, he got into, the indie music scene, and he had kind of a music collective called Lansing Dryden. Have you ever heard of Lansing Dryden?
No, I don't know anything about this.
Okay, so Lansing Dryden was around in the early aughts, and then after Lansing Dryden, then he had a band called Violins. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of like a mashup of violins and violence.
Wow, I see what he's
Violins. and they put out 2 records. They were great, and but then after that, he kind of got into producing. He kind of became the default producer when he was in Lansing Dryden. Like no one else really knew how to work the equipment and stuff.
That happens.
Yeah, and so he was kind of in charge of the recording, and so he cut his teeth recording his own band, and then later on, he needed to pay rent, and so he started producing other people's records, and then all of a sudden, he becomes an in-demand producer. And so he has produced stuff for Ariel Pink, for Wild Nothing, for No Joy, for Pains of Being Pure at Heart, for Ice Choir. I mean, a ton of, like a who's who of...
He's got his finger on the pulse.
A who's who of, you know, kind of that New York scene. Tamarin, if you know Tamarin, Gang Gang Dance, Japanese Breakfast, a bunch of
it's
indie
almost
bands.
like pop shoegazy.
Yeah, that's definitely his niche, right? Pop, but with shoegaze with a pop tint. And so I really hadn't listened to any of his stuff in quite a while because all of the stuff that he had been putting out under his own name was extremely electronic, and to the point where it was not my jam. But he put out this single, and I just freaking loved it. I loved the production. I loved the sound. And because you are a producer as well, I figured that you not only might enjoy this jam, but you might enjoy some of his insights. So he did a Q&A with Stereo Gum. Gosh, this was a couple years ago. Or no, this was last year. But I want to talk to you about some of the things that he talked about with Stereo Gum after we play the jam. But I'm curious to see how you feel about this. This is the hot new one from Jorge Elbrecht. This is entitled Ancient Grief, and it's on HTWOW.
Yeah, that's got a man.
How do you feel about that?
That's got a Stone Roses feel, right?
Yeah.
There's like John Squire guitar parts, but I first looked at you and went, he's singing like it's got an Ian Brown. He's got a thing. It's more in tune.
Right? Yeah. He can sing. That's the difference.
But it has that same soft. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Jorge. He needs to change it just to Jorge.
You don't like Jorge Elbrecht?
No, that's good, but it's too hard.
I mean, I don't know that he, at this point in his career, that he cares about, quote unquote, making it as a solo artist or in his own band.
Well, he seems to be
Like
a known person now that people
that he
know
is, that he is
Jorge Elbrecht did.
He is turned into this kind of in-demand producer.
Well,
And
he
so-
obviously is. We need to get Nolan in touch with him. They could do some stuff up in Brooklyn and just make
Right?
out all the time.
Yeah, so one of the reasons I wanted to bring him up is because I saw in reading this article that he is in the process of building a beachfront studio in his home country of Costa Rica.
Man,
Can you imagine jamming there?
he should invite us
Right?
for the opening. Wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be so fun.
He moved out. Dude, everyone's moving out of New York. What's going on?
But it's interesting, and I wanted to get your take on producing and just the art of it. Because, they asked him, where do you feel like you usually fit in as a producer? And so he said, I like being a chameleon. I don't like to impose a role beforehand. And he said, if they need another songwriter involved, I can do that. Or if the songs are already amazing and the performances are amazing, then he can just be a documentarian and just like, oh, you should use this mic for this thing.
Right.
Or this would sound best if you did it this way. I think his preference, he was like, I've been in bands my whole life. And he's like, I love the idea of being like the quote unquote temporary band member. And I think that's kind of like Flood or a lot of the producers that we've talked about, Stephen Street, where they're kind of like the extra band member and they're playing stuff in studio and they're actively contributing.
Well, it's the reason why I end up in half of the bands that I'm in. It's because I just end up playing a lot of stuff on the record. But they usually present themselves. If the band, if they already have all of their stuff worked out, you don't want to step on what's already happening because it's so good already. You know what I mean? But a lot of times when you're recording a band, they're looking at you for help, and then it's an easy situation. You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't need to map it out ahead of time. Once
it
you
either
get in
happens
there,
or it doesn't.
The situation presents itself.
Right. If it doesn't need any help, everyone knows that already. Or if they're asking for, it happens without planning it ahead of time. It either happens or it doesn't. Whether you're going to be involved playing anything or helping. And that even goes with songwriting, because you can even play on stuff and have nothing to do with songwriting stuff. But then some people come in that are solo and they need you to help finish the songs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they just don't know how to close the deal.
Exactly. And they want that help already. But the worst thing is if you're a producer trying to put yourself on everything, it needs to the game needs to come to you or not. Just like anything else, or because if you push it, it's terrible. So just, it either happens or it doesn't. But either way, it's good. I mean, if the band's so good they don't need any help, that's great too. What's wrong with that? That's perfect.
And that's what he's talking about, like the documentarian, just making sure that everything is recorded as beautifully as possible.
Exactly.
And just capturing the moment of this band at the height of their powers.
Yeah. Recording, you're with each other a lot, and you become friends, and it's an easy situation. You are the person recording the record is always an extra band member, no matter what. But whether you play on the record or not, you know what I
Right.
mean? You're helping this process go down. But eventually, someone's like, you know, can you just go out there and play this keyboard part and do the thing, and you do it, you know, or sing, or hey, this song's pretty good, but man, it gets real boring right here. It needs to be fixed.
Yeah, we need to do something.
Yeah.
You need a bridge or a second chorus or something.
Yeah, things get real honest in there because no one ever sees it. So it's good, right?
Yeah, well, so I thought this part of his interview really resonated with me. I think the reason why I love this guy so much is, even though I'm from Bedford and he's from Costa Rica, I feel like our musical journeys are similar. Mm-hmm. So he tells this story. He went to a video store in Costa Rica. This is, you know, when he was a kid.
How old is he?
I don't know. I mean, maybe 10, 12. I don't know, like that.
No, I mean right now.
Oh, right now I have no idea.
Okay.
He doesn't even have a wiki, so I have no idea how old he is. But I'm guessing he is about our same age, late 40s, early 50s.
Okay. I mean, I'm super young, but I see what you're saying.
Well, yeah, more my age than your age.
Yeah.
Because you're eternally young. So he says, I remember going to the video store where I grew up and telling the woman behind the desk, can you find me the hardest, heaviest stuff? Like the fastest, hardest, most aggressive stuff that you have here. She's like, let me call my son. She got on the phone with her son, who's some dingus. And then she's like, Billy Idol. She said, Billy Idol. And I was like, cool, yeah, all right. And then he says, I like Billy Idol, but it probably wasn't the hardest thing on earth at the time. I was looking for like Pantera. That's what I wanted to
He
hear.
said Pantera?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He was like, I grew up skateboarding to Dead Milkmen and early Red Hot Chili Peppers, Guns N' Roses, a lot of hair metal too, because I would get those metal magazines and go through and buy stuff, buy a Striper record or a Cinderella record.
Jesus.
He said, my upbringing was a lot of hair metal, and then the whole grunge thing happened. That changed everything. Then I started listening to Fugazi and then My Bloody Valentine, the Swirlies and stuff like that. So very similar to me of looking for the heaviest thing and listening to hair metal because that's all there was, and then having that inflection point of discovering real music.
Well, the other stuff is real music, but I don't know. I guess you mean something with more substance.
Yeah, something with like a deeper level.
Yeah.
You know, of musicality and intention, not just trying to get pussy, but
It's weird that you were never a guitar player.
I tried.
Because usually, like, metal dudes really, they end up being super awesome guitar players.
Yeah, I had a guitar teacher who was like an Yngwie Malmsteen disciple.
See, that's too much. That's too hard.
Yeah, I mean, and he was, I thought he was amazing, but I just couldn't grasp the concept. I had a guitar and I tried.
Yeah, that's like you sit down and you get a guitar and you're like, I'm gonna learn all the Smiths songs. That's a bad move. You can't learn Yngwie or Johnny Marr on the first lesson.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that I couldn't possibly learn how to play guitar, because I can play like the basic chords. You know,
you got
there's my acoustic over there in the corner that I pick
Yeah.
up once every 6 months.
If you know 3 of them, you got it.
You know, so I can strum, but I wanted like the immediate gratification. I wanted to be able to shred, and I couldn't, and I just got frustrated.
Metal's hard to play.
Yeah, so I don't know how you feel about that tune. I will maybe play a Lansing Dryden or a Violin song.
No, I love that. That was
on the After
great.
Dark.
I've never heard of this person. I'm glad that you have presented Jorge to me.
Yes, but Jorge, man, the dude knows what he's doing behind the board. And honestly, if anything on the Mexican Summer label, he's probably touched it at some point. And
do you think
like I
that he
said,
would let us do the pod from Costa Rica?
I mean, I'll tag him when I publish the thing, and maybe we'll become best friends.
God, that'd be really cool.
I would love to do HTWOW from Costa Rica.
Especially from a studio, it would sound great.
Yeah. So that's the Jorge Elbrecht story I wanted to tell you.
That's awesome. Where do we go from here?
Well, now we need to get back into Gary Numan because now he's dropped the whole Htwow Army thing.
Yeah.
And now he is just Gary Numan.
It's just Gary Numan, which he kind of was already, let's face it. But, you need to go through that growth period. Everyone needs to be in a band, right? Before you decide, I'm solo. But even on the Htwow Army replica, like when you look at the album cover, it's just him.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
But it is really egocentric to come out of the gates and say I'm a solo artist.
It's tough.
Like, you got to go through the growing pains of being in a band and figuring out your voice and how this whole thing works before it becomes evident that, okay, I'm more important than all these other
Exactly.
people.
Like, you can't, I feel like Sondre Lerche just decided he was Sondre Lerche,
Right.
and he's
Like,
him.
at some point, this will just become high tea.
Yeah, I really feel like that's where we're headed. I don't think that's the case, Dave, but let's get to some Gary Numan. Now, boy, we are in. So he's had his number one single, right? Which
A surprise number one.
you wouldn't think. And the record goes to number one.
That's insane.
You know what I mean? In 1979, that's tough to do. So months after that, after the record goes number one, he releases Cars.
Yeah.
That-
just when you
which
think
is-
he couldn't get any bigger, he gets bigger.
Yeah, which is, I mean, come on. That's the first time. When do you think of all Gary Numan songs, everyone knows Cars? Even when we mentioned it to Marissa, like, you sing barely the first 2 seconds of it. Everyone's like,
Hear him. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know that one. When's the first time you heard that song? Like you were in a, like you think you might have heard Cars. Like, how old were you?
I mean, I probably heard it in the early 80s on the radio. Like, by that time, it was already kind of an oldie, but I probably heard it in 81, 82, 83, whatever, top 40 at that point.
And it's like 1979.
Right.
Okay, so then he puts out Pleasure Principle, which, have you ever got into any of these records? I'm gonna listen to this record all the way through, or just there's a couple of songs or Cars. Like, what's your situation?
There's
with-
definitely a couple songs I know, but I do have Pleasure Principle and Telecon on vinyl, and I know I've listened to them front to cover.
Well, the next song that I'm gonna play, the problem is
Fiona with a collar
I
solo.
know, it's so good. I wanted to play Me or Me. Let's face it, we did it on After Dark. It's the Basement Jacks jam. They took the riff.
Yeah, Where's Your Head At? Which came out well after. We thought it was a 90s song. Came out early 2000s, but Where's Your Head At samples Me by Gary Numan.
Should I play just a slip right here? Just
Yeah.
a little blip.
Just a slit.
I'll play a little blip of it right now.
Yeah, see?
Yeah,
You can hear it.
See,
You can
it's
hear
the
it.
jam.
Yeah.
We have to play something off this record.
It's too important. We can't just ignore it.
So I've decided to pick the song, and this is why I love this song, and it's called Films. And the reason why I love it is because he basically discusses how much he doesn't like this film the entire time.
We don't know which film.
Doesn't matter, but he basically just says what's wrong with this film.
So it's a review.
It's a terrible review of film,
Okay.
which
Well,
I think
we
is
can
awesome.
We can just surmise what film was that he saw in 1979 that just set him off.
It set him off, but he did not like this film. And this is the review of it by Gary Numan. He doesn't seem to like the film.
Or the actors.
Yeah.
Or the scenery.
It's good, right? I mean, it's a deep cut on that record, for sure. But, like I said, you know, Living in Ornaments was like my Louder Than Bombs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it was like there was Living in Ornaments 79 and 80, which he basically played the two different records. Telecon was 80 and Pleasure Principle was the 79 Wembley performances. And I would suggest to anyone, like I said, the Cheap Trick thing, go listen to those. Listen to the Living in Ornaments. Do you remember during old After Darks, probably even before we started recording them, that I would bring out that box?
Yeah, I remember
That-
you playing that before we would even be rolling on the After Dark, when the After Dark was organic.
Yeah. Let me show you a picture, because this is what I meant to bring up today. Remember that?
Yeah.
That
The
album.
Wembley thing?
Yeah, the Wembley Arena stuff of all the sold out shows, when he has told everyone at the when he gets to Living in Ornaments that he has decided he is not going to play live anymore. Which they all do when they
Yeah,
get to a
sure.
point, and then of course a year later they go, well,
Need to pay some bills.
yeah, I think I'll play some more. But those were all these sold out shows, and they have a full on video, and it looks insane. There's like moving little tiny cars that he's in, and like all this shit on stage with all the lights and everything. It looks really cool. I know films from that. Don't like the film.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about it. Like we talked about, I've listened to that album, but Films is not a jam that I remember.
It's a deep cut, but we've played some of the other songs from that, and you can't play Cars. And
No.
of course, we've done the
I love
Basement
it.
Jacks.
I
We've
love
done
it.
Me.
All right, are you ready for beer number 2?
Oh yeah, what do we? Oh, you've already set this up.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Are you
that.
ready for this? As I said, this is another Martin House. This is entitled. This is a limited edition.
Now, are Martin House usually the ones that have the chicks on the cans?
Yes. Yeah. This is not a chick. This is like a possessed cookie monster.
This is not a chick with cans on the cans. This is
No.
a.
It is entitled Cookie Monster, Cookie with a K. It is a whiskey barrel-aged Imperial Thin Mint Stout,
This looks dangerous.
12%.
Jesus.
It is brewed with peppermint, chocolate, vanilla, brown sugar, and lactose. Aged, I can't read that.
Where are you looking?
Aged some number of months in whiskey barrels with cocoa nibs. This comes in a 2-pack.
Age 3 to 5 months.
Oh, 3 to 5. Okay, so this comes in a 2-pack.
This was
Look at
brewed.
it. It looks like motor oil.
This was brewed on May 6th
Oh my
of
god.
this year during COVID.
Look at that. Look
Golly,
at that.
Dave. Golly, that does look like. What are you doing to us? Well,
It does. It's the head smells exactly like a Girl Scout Thin Mint cookie.
from here on out, this podcast is
Good-
trash.
Good night, Toby.
Good night. My goodness. Forgive us for anything we say from here on out.
You know what? That is surprisingly smooth.
Oh, it is good. It does taste
Yeah,
like a
I mean,
cookie.
it seriously is dessert in a glass.
Man, there's just those brewer dudes out there are just
I don't
like having the
understand.
best time.
I don't understand how they come up with the shit. It is amazing.
They need to have their own little show.
Beer has reached like a whole other level.
Golly.
How do they? It's like Willy Wonka when like the gum tastes like Thanksgiving dinner.
Every bite is like taking a bite out of a chocolate cake. Golly.
Fuck me. I'm so sorry for cursing.
This is going to get so stupid from here
Yeah,
on
we're
out.
about to get insane. Okay, before my next jam, we teased this earlier, but we do need to, for those who don't listen to the ticket, for those who don't listen, for those who aren't in the DFW area and have not heard this story like 3 different times now, we do need to tell the story of my car being stolen.
Yeah, from steps away from where we are right now.
Yes, so we are broadcasting to you live from my apartment, and earlier this month, just 2 weeks ago, my car was stolen from the parking garage right underneath where we are broadcasting from right now as I slept.
A gated parking garage, which have you asked anyone how they got in?
I think they squeezed in on foot.
Like after someone was...
No, I don't think they followed someone in. I think that they just, at the seam of the gates, because it's 2 gates, that they somehow squeezed in. That they were like...
so you can open it from the inside.
You can open it from the inside. When you pull up, the sensor goes off and it opens from the inside.
Oh, okay, I see.
So they were like Terminator 2, and they somehow...
They went into liquid form.
They went into liquid form and came in through the bars. And so, yes, it was, as I've come to find out, because I have spoken to police officers in multiple jurisdictions in this investigation,
Yeah?
that this is part of a sophisticated chop shop car theft ring, right? So they case out apartment parking lots and look for sweet GM luxury vehicles, and then they come out and they steal them, and then they park them in a different apartment parking lot
Okay.
and let them cool down and make sure they don't have like any low jack or anything.
Right.
And then they come back and they get them and take them to another location where they disassemble them and sell them for parts.
So you had a cool down.
I don't know for a fact that I had a cool down, but here's what I know. Is that my car, the last time I drove my car was on a Tuesday. I went to the grocery store.
Okay.
I parked it on a Tuesday, did not drive it on the Wednesday, and then Thursday night, my wife was staying at a friend's house, and she came home Thursday afternoon and noticed my car was gone. And she came up and she was like, "Where's your car?" And I was like, well, totally makes sense, because at 8 a.m. Thursday morning, I had gotten emails from OnStar that there was a airbag and a engine malfunction. So
And you just disregarded that as this is just dumb.
I just thought it was. I thought it was just some kind of computer glitch that I was going to have to take my car in to the dealer to have them reset the computer or something.
Right.
I didn't think to go downstairs and make sure my car was still there.
Well, what would it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Right. And so, yeah, it was already gone. And so, yeah, they pulled out the OnStar to make sure it wasn't trackable. And but not only did they steal my car, which was a Chevy Tahoe, they also stole the Cadillac Escalade that was parked right next to me. And so I got all the video footage from the apartment complex. And I posted some pictures and videos. If you'd like to go back into my timeline, @OldWaver on Twitter, you can dial those up and do some sleuthing of your own. But they came and came through the gate and stole the Escalade. They somehow hotwired it, or they had like a master key or something, and they drove the Escalade out.
Oh, they didn't tow that one.
No, they
because yours
didn't.
was towed.
Yes, they drove the Escalade out, and the Escalade was backed in. So they were able to somehow get in and hotwire it, or they had, some kind of computer chip that makes cars work. I have no idea. But they drove it out, and that was about 12:30 on the Thursday night. And then they came back like 3 hours later at 3 a.m. with a tow truck and dragged my car out. My car was head in, and so they hooked up the rear wheels to their tow truck and just dragged it out of there.
Yeah, there's marks on the ground.
Yeah, you can see in my garage right now, next to where my wife's car is parked, which is now our only car, you can see the grooves in the concrete where the chain and the the apparatus that they put underneath the wheels of the tow truck, where they were just dragging it out. There's grooves cut in the pavement, and it's insane to me that they haven't been able to catch this guy, because
Oh, I thought they caught him.
no, the guy, very recognizable if you go back and look at
Yeah, you have full-on pictures.
yeah, if you look at the pictures in the video on my Twitter page, he has a dead right arm. It's got a sleeve on it, like his arm is all tatted up, but it just swings dead at his side as he's walking. Like it's totally paralyzed. Whether he had a stroke or he had an accident, for whatever reason, his right arm is totally non-functional.
But, well, if you're going to get tatted...
Yeah, you won't feel any pain, so you may as well...
I mean, he can get crazy
load
stuff.
up. Yeah, load up that arm.
Volcanoes and stuff. You could do whatever you want to
Yeah,
that one.
you could do like ball bearings, like all the way up.
All kinds of stuff.
Just implants and piercings.
Yeah. You could have swords shooting out of that
Right.
thing.
Just cut off the hand and have a sword that
Yeah, it
shoots
just
out.
shoots it. Man, he really should get
Yeah, like
into
Voltron or
that.
something.
Yeah. What an idiot.
Yeah, so even though he's caught on video walking in, the way the cameras are positioned, they don't have him actually getting into cars. And even though you see the tow truck towing my vehicle out, you don't see him in the tow truck. So they can't, even though they've positively ID'd the guy,
So they know who it is.
they know who it is, but they can't link him to the tow truck, and therefore they can't link him to the crime.
He's just a bro walking through a parking
Yeah, he's just
garage.
walking through a parking garage minding his own business.
And he can turn liquid.
I guess.
They need to look into that.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, maybe, why his arm didn't come back.
Right, that it takes longer for his arm to regain.
Or when he
Function.
came back normal after liquid, the arm didn't regenerate.
That's a problem.
I'm just saying, I'm not a detective, but I'm pretty good at stuff.
You are. I'll put you in touch with the DPD. Yeah.
This sucks.
I know, but so they have.
I would worry about my car, but it's from 2007.
Yeah, no one cares
and
about your
wants
car.
it.
No one wants
No
your
one
car.
wants my GMC Tahoe or what.
Yeah, you have a Yukon, but it is like a 10-year-old Yukon.
It's
No
the
one.
same car.
Yeah, it's the
but
same.
way
It's the same
older.
car, but way older. No one has any use for what
Yeah,
you
there's
have.
nothing. My dashboard's cracked.
But it saved me because my windshield was cracked, so it saves me from fixing my windshield.
That's a plus.
That is a plus. And I did finally hear from my insurance the other day, and they are going to cover it completely, and I actually will get some of my money back. So they're gonna pay off the bank because it was a lease vehicle.
Okay.
So they're gonna pay off the bank, and then there's gonna be some extra left over for me.
Dude,
Because I put a big down payment on that car.
what are you going to get? Like a smart car?
No, that's the thing. COVID times, we don't need two cars. So I'm just going to drive her dumb car.
What's she drive?
She has a little ATS, like a Cadillac sedan.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
They're so smooth.
It's great. I mean, I have to, my legs break every time I get it in and out of it.
I don't know, but it's not a dumb little car. It's a Cadillac.
Yeah, but it's a great car, and we get to save a bunch of money by only having one car payment. And actually, her car is almost paid off.
Is it a convertible?
No, it's not. I don't think they have convertibles anymore.
I know a dude with a dead arm that can chop that roof off.
Right, if we want to.
Yeah, if
we
want.
want to turn it into convertible.
I know a dude.
Okay.
I got a guy.
We'll look him up.
Yeah.
We'll try and hook that up. But yes, so anyone who is concerned about my well-being after my car being stolen, just know that insurance is paying it in full and then some. So I will get some of my down payment back, and we will carry on with one vehicle like we're living in the 50s. It's time for my last song. we have 2 more songs to go. My song and then another Gary Numan song.
I don't even know what Gary Numan song.
And then we're going to
to
get the fuck out and have some dinner and record the After Dark. But for my last song, I was very torn because I wanted to play a Secret Machine song, and I may still next month when we have Rhines on.
He ain't coming. He'll never.
He'll cancel again. But I decided that I really wanted to play something off of the new album by Fontaines DC. And for patrons, they may remember Fontaines DC from one of our house party episodes earlier in COVID times that our buddy Kevin played Boys in the Better Land on the After Dark from the Fontaines DC first record. And they just came out with their second record. And so the...
Before you say it, there is a P1 of the HTWOW named Brad Crouch.
He tipped you off to this?
Should I ask you what the name of the song is? Because he sent me this song 2 days ago.
All right.
And said, well, I'm not going to tell you what he said. I'm going to mention it afterwards because I think we're both going to think the exact same thing.
Okay. So the new album is called A Hero's Death. And Fontaines DC, they are from Dublin. They are Irish. And...
Double.
Yeah. And so... Brian Chatton is the singer.
It's
like Brian with a G. I didn't even know that was a name. Brian.
It's just green.
Is it green?
I don't know. I'm just saying stuff.
He has a
You're the one that gave me motor oil to drink tonight, Dave.
Chocolate motor oil. So Brian... He has a very interesting delivery. He is more of like a kind of a talk singer. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with the band Art Brut?
No, I don't know what that is. Is that Brut like a champagne or like
Yes. I mean, there have been a number of bands over the course of rock history where, I mean, we can bring up. What's his face from the B-52s? What's his name? If you see the sign at the side of the road.
I know, but I don't know what you're getting at.
But they're just guys who are more comfortable talking than singing.
Okay, well, this is what the guy sent. Do you want to know what Brad said?
Yeah, what did he say?
It does. I don't think it matters what the song is. But he said, think these guys were maybe influenced by Morrissey?
Yeah.
Do you get that by his voice?
I could see that as well.
Well, I can't wait to see the difference between Morrissey and the dude from the B-52s. So let's
split the difference between Fred Schneider and Morrissey, and you have Brian
Green Steves. What's his last name?
From Fontaines DC, Brian Chatton. So this is a really good record. I have listened to it front to cover many, many times over the last few months.
That just means
I do love it. And the song that I'm going to play is track 1. It is called I Don't Belong. And it's by Fontaines DC on H2WOW.
face so true. My word is always in the ready, and I'll attribute that to you. I don't belong to anyone. I don't belong to anyone. I don't belong to anyone. I don't wanna belong to anyone. You should have heard I'm in the Brewery, learning people with a tongue, cut from second-hand cloth, make the women feel young. I heard I'm serving as a soldier in the annex of the earth, threw himself before a bullet, and threw the metal to the dirt. Hit a man's word. I don't belong to anyone. I don't belong to anyone. I don't belong to anyone. I don't wanna belong to anyone. I don't 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 wanna belong to anyone. I don't 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 wanna belong to anyone.
What do you think about that?
Dude, that is I see what they mean about the. I thought that they meant that he was going to sing like Morrissey, but they mean more the what he's singing about.
Right.
I get that.
Yes.
That is definitely an influence there. The I don't belong to
anyone.
I get it. It's good,
We just
man.
harmonized like badass.
Dude,
just
that
then.
was great. It, like
Fuck.
it was
Let's
fuzzy.
start a band
It was
right
fuzzy
now.
and random. Let's do it again. I don't belong to anyone. That's
It was better the
intense.
first time.
It was
Go back
because
to
it was
go back
organic.
go back to take one.
It was organic.
Yeah.
But I do. I see what they're saying there. That was good. You know what I love is when he did a little hummy kind of. He did a little.
Right.
thing in the middle.
Yeah, and there's several
It's like
other songs.
It was like a little flower, a little daisy in the middle of the song of a
There's
sad
several
song.
other songs for me to choose from that I will try to pick through for the After Dark.
Maybe we'll do the Brad song, the You Said song.
Sure, maybe.
We'll see.
But I like the whole thing. I mean, that is very like.
Is this a new like a whole record?
It's a The record is called
Steve.
not called Steve. A Hero's Death.
Okay, boy, they're really. Man,
And
they need to relax.
and like I said, it there's like krautrocky, repetitive, droney elements to it, but there's enough interest that really engages you throughout. The whole record is really good. People that I trust on the Twitter are totally into it.
You don't trust people on the Twitter.
I trust like Tim Burgess of the Charlatans. He
wow.
loves them.
Don't throw a heavy thing on me like that. That's
Me and Tim Burgess are friends. He used to follow me. He doesn't anymore.
why would he stopped following
Yeah,
you?
he stopped following me.
He
But
took you off of his thing?
But it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Seems like it bugs you a little.
I mean, if I could if I could confront him about it, I would say, "What did I do wrong?" But I understand.
We're kind of friends on the Twitter, me and Tim.
You and Tim Burgess? Mm-hmm. All right.
But it's because of Deep Blue stuff, if that's weird.
Did Deep Blue ever open for Charlatans?
No, but they had a moment on one of his DJ things.
Oh, that's right.
We had a thing.
Was it Top of the Pops related? Or there?
No, it was just a night of DJ stuff, and they said when they did the Deep Blue tune, they all were really wasted, and it became like a party time thing for at least 3 minutes.
Okay.
3 minutes and 20 seconds.
I can't remember. Maybe it wasn't him, but there was somebody on Twitter.
I was alerted to it from his thing.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
It was a 90s set thing.
Right. I think it was somebody was some UK band was talking about how they were cock-blocked from the UK #1 by Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah, that might have been the Blue Tones.
Okay, I can't remember who it was. Anyway,
It doesn't matter. But,
before we get to
I'm glad he just mentioned it, or even knows that we exist.
right, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Before we get to the last Gary Numan song, I do want to bring everyone's attention to someone who has not necessarily played an active role in this podcast, because we've heard Fiona with her jingle collar solo earlier.
And the puppies have been through here.
Yeah, and the puppies have barked and made their presence known. But there is a fourth animal in the house tonight. It is the brand new kitten, Natalie Imbruglia.
Natalie, come on over here.
Natalie, where are you? Where are you, Natalie? I think
She's a cat. She's not coming.
she was sitting on the chair opposite you next to your backpack.
Cats do what they want to do, so let's respect that.
But
because
yes,
I love their vibe.
For those of you who are longtime HTWOW listeners, you know that Fiona Apple was brought into our family about a year and a half ago. No, 2.5 years ago. I don't even remember.
Yeah, you tried to teach her how
I tried to teach her to shit on the toilet.
It worked for a second.
It worked for a second until she got tired of it, and then she started shitting in the guest room and pissing on the dining room carpet. And so I had to finally give her a litter box, a proper litter box.
That's what I'm gonna do tonight.
You're gonna shit on the dining room carpet, or no, shit in the guest room, piss on the dining room carpet.
Yeah, let's get the order right.
But we have finally got a kitten sister for Fiona Apple, and her name is Natalie Imbruglia.
Yeah, she's got a serious look on her face. Oh wait, is she coming right now? No, that's Puppy. That's
Yeah.
Puppy.
So
You can't tell in this house because they're all the same size.
Yeah, they are the same size. We like small animals here, so I can easily dominate them. But Natalie Imbruglia is a Russian blue mix. She, as I told you off the pod earlier, she's kind of a deceiver. When we picked her up a couple weeks ago, she was the sweetest, most cuddly, like she purred like her life depended on it when we picked her up. Mm-hmm. And then we got her home, and she turned into the biggest bitch you've ever met in your life, like the most confident, swag kitten you've ever seen.
It's a girl cat.
Yes. Yeah, we've got all girls.
I don't want to overemphasize that.
I don't want to introduce a male into this mix. Like when Lita passes on to the next plane and we are ready for another dog, maybe we can have a male dog at that point. But at this point, I'm not interested in having a male. I'm anti-male cat. Let me just say that.
So she deceived you until she got into the house.
Yes, and then she took over.
And then became her real self.
Yeah, she pretended that she was someone else until I became engaged in a relationship with her.
I'm not going to say there's a theme here.
And then she became a totally different person.
That's weird.
Yes, as someone who has been divorced twice, you would think I would be able to suss that out ahead of time. So, yes, please welcome to the HTWOW family, Natalie Imbruglia.
There she is.
If we hadn't done Cars for the intro outro, we were going to do Torn.
Come here, sugar bone. I have her right here. Say something.
Why don't you purr for the microphone?
She's like, I'm bored with your radio show. But look, she's
Hold,
right here.
hold her
with
upside down and she might meow.
You want to meow? There we go.
Yeah, that's it.
Yay! You did it. What a good girl. All right, you can sit here.
All right, so it's time for the last tune of HTWOW and the last tune of the Toby book report on Gary Numan. And now we are at Telecon, which is 81.
What are we doing? I'm playing with Kat now.
Telecon, the Wreckage, or this Wreckage?
Yeah. I would say I know that Pleasure Principle is the standard Gary Numan. That's the record. It has cars on it and all this. But my favorite record is this record.
Okay.
You play it from beginning, from front to cover. I think that it might be your favorite as well.
It has the best cover. The graphic design with his face and the black background and then the violent lines of red.
God, it is so futuristic, 1980, 81. I mean, it's 1980, right?
Yeah.
But, man, it is. Yes. This is it.
This is the future.
He's kind of coming out of the shadow, like his face, you
Yeah.
can barely. But, yeah, it's. I think it's the first song on the record, isn't it?
Yes, this is track 1 off of Telecon, which is still 1979.
When's the
Fuck.
last? Is it really?
Yeah, dude.
Can't be.
He did so much. He did more before 1980 than most of us
Man.
do before 8 a.m.
His 78 through 79.
Did you like my
I know. You went for was it Air Force?
whatever?
Or Army? Maybe it's a Marine thing.
I don't know.
We do more before
I don't know.
whatever it is.
It doesn't matter.
He did more between 78 and 79 than most of us do for the rest of our lives.
I know, it's true.
Are they really doing Telecom in 79?
Yes, that's what it says. That's what it says.
All right, I'm not sure if that's...
All right, let's
But
run.
either way-
Let's run it.
Dude,
Are
it's
you ready to
so
run it?
good. When's the last time you revisited this? I'm not kidding. Like, when's the last time you've done this?
I don't know, but
Dude, this song is dynamite.
by the way, the song after this is called The Air Crash Bureau.
I know. He likes crashes and he likes airplanes.
this dark facade ends. We're independent from someone. This wreckage I call me would like to frame your voice. This wreckage I call me would like to meet you soon. We write suggestions, suggesting fade into silence, and that must please you. My mirror astonished with no help. This wreckage I call me would like to frame your voice. This wreckage I call me would like to meet you soon. These eyes wipe off my face, erase me, replay the end. It's all just show, erase you. I need to. This wreckage I call me would like to frame your voice. This wreckage I call me would like to leave you soon.
That's a hot fade.
That's aggressive fade out.
What do you think about our ending of our Gary Numan, our Gary Webb?
Man, he's so weird, but he's so
his
good.
vocal delivery. Think about it for that time frame. You have there's David Bowie and there's all these people doing all this awesome stuff, right? How weird is he? I mean, as a human.
Yeah. Not even just as an artist, just as a human.
Like, I'm telling you, weird people are looking at him going, Jesus, man, what is his deal? Like, he is... I mean, what's like the guy from The Clash when he hears Gary Numan going, what the F is this dude doing?
Right. Do I need to pay attention to this? Is this where music is going? Because this is totally opposite of what I'm doing.
And is it why the other guy from the class is like, dude, I need to
do big audio dynamite.
I need to do some other stuff because they're leaving us behind. Like, we only had a 1-year shot here, and this dude has taken it to. He's in Futureville, and right now we're in Futureville, and we still haven't got there.
I mean, it is. I think he is one of the most underrated figures in pop music.
He really is.
Is
he in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
There's no way.
It's Depeche Mode just got elected, right?
Yeah, Depeche Mode is about to go in.
Okay, which is insane.
And Cure just went in.
Because there's no Depeche Mode without Gary Numan. Kraftwerk's in. I think they went in. Not that if you're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, who cares, right? Is that the dumbest one ever?
Yeah, that you get to go to Cleveland. Yeah, he's not in the Hall of Fame. He's considered a one-hit wonder by a lot of people, just
which
because
is
of,
the
because
dumbest
of Cars.
thing ever. That's the most ridiculous thing ever. That he is a one-hit. How could that possibly be?
Because
he
that's
had a
all
number one hit before
that's all
the
people,
hit.
Because that's all people know.
I think he might be considered that over here, but
I think the
don't
term
think
one-hit wonder is an American term.
it might be. Well, now it's worldwide, but it might have been invented here. But either way, I mean, this dude, he had a number one song before his hit.
Here's what I would say about Gary Numan is, I think because of his instrumentation, because of his delivery.
He's using a full band.
Right. But because of that signature synth sound and because of his sardonic delivery, that there's a lot of same-songiness.
I can see that. I can see why people would say that.
You can see, like, if you listen to an entire album front to cover, or if you listen to this album and then this album, that it can all kind of sound the same. But I don't think that detracts from his genius and from his visionary status.
Especially at that time. I mean, who would have the balls to do something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, no one would think that they would ever have a hit record or a successful record off of making their songs sound like that.
Right.
No one would. I mean, I know Kraftwerk was around, but they weren't
topping the charts.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't like a hit thing. I mean, this dude was selling out Wembley Arena night after night and making full-on concert videos of his thing for the first time in the 70s. That's insane. No one was doing that. Think of how big the cameras were.
I think we all owe Gary Numan a debt of gratitude. And if shows ever come around again and he comes to your town, I think you should go see him and just bow down at the altar of the OG.
You should.
Of synthpop. All right, so we need to grill some burgers, and we need to recover from the Cookie Monster. Reconvene for After Dark here shortly for you patrons.
It's gonna be heavy, Gary Numan.
I can't wait because, like I said, it doesn't matter to me if those songs blend together. Gary Numan just makes me happy.
I know, it's good, right? He's such a weirdo.
He is such a weirdo, and just his take on the world just makes me smile.
I know, it's good.
He is just such a unique, weird, but somehow fascinating individual, and I can't wait to hear all of the stuff that you're going to play later. And I have loads of stuff that was a near miss on this episode. I have stuff that I want to play from Jorge Elbrecht's catalog.
Man, that is your dude. I can't wait till you guys get together.
No one's gonna tune in for that. But there's so much that we need to listen to later. And thank you so much for listening. Are you ready to play it out? What? Hey, just a reminder, HTWOW is 3 years old.
Listen to that clap.
3 years old. 3 years old. 3 years old. 3 years old. 3 years old.
The other thing I love about Gary Numan, he lets the music sit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't need to talk over it or sing over it.
He lets the music go for a second.
Thank you for listening to High Tea with Old Waver. For those of you who have been with us since episode 1, all the way now to episode 38, 3 years down the road, God bless you. And if you have listened to all 38 episodes all the way until the end, you deserve an extra thin mint on your bed pillow tonight. Thank you to Marissa for drawing the name. Congratulations to Steve Jordan for winning the Premier Grilling Prize Pack. Thank you to Toby for coming up here and setting up and knocking down HTWOW episode 38. God bless everyone, and God bless Gary Numan.